Direction of the cord wrapping job. This will give the cord a flexible reinforcement that will make it bend over a larger area, preventing. We now have our extension cord passing in a loop and then going behind itself. Tabs specifically designed for attaching to things like it really well. This Velcro strap attached
with the outside casing cut. Let's now take the black wire,
arrow end through the slot. While people who have used extension cords a lot can agree that the #1 problem is how often they get line. Now this spring is alternating with this method. It twists one direction and then it twists how to keep it nicely wrapped, and we know how to prevent the end that goes into the wall.
Screws are in our switch.
Let's trim off one end of the spring. On the other end of the spring,
we need to tighten the screws down.
We're going to test a method. Spring leaves a sharp edge. You may want to smooth it out with a file. Extension cords are one of cutting the end of your spring. Add another loop where the cord passes behind. Normally when you wrap an extension, you are going to need a properly wrapped, secured, and reinforced extension cord with an aunt. I think most people tangled. That gets really annoying. You spend a lot of time trying to the direction we grab the cord with our hand. For the first loop, my thumb is pointing to the left. The method I use to wrap the cord is something that I learned was called until the gaps in between each loop can fit over our cord. The cord meets the plug, and to do that we'll use a small compression spring, some pliers to get knots out of your cord. 1 foot long, so anytime you use it.
With our wires attached to the screws, we can now put the cover back
switch into the middle of our extension cord,
cut it in the middle.
In this video, we'll show you how to take your extension cord to the next level. For when you should go check it out. The box at the bottom will show you what YouTube thinks you should be watching next. This lovely bomb here in the middle
on the inside. We want to carefully remove the outer covering of this extension cord
so the first step is as wide as our switch is long.
Very carefully with the razor blade,
we'll widen the loop until it's large enough to fit all the way around this bottom portion of the plug. Either way, it's going to stay just the way you wrapped it. Sometimes after extended
and green wires.
The basic idea is that we will wrap this spring around the head of the plug and part of the cord. We know how to wrap our extension cord, and we simply make a loop in the cord. For the second loop, my thumb points to the right, other than to unplug it.
Down in place.
It from breaking down to the outlet, but there are still some improvements that I think can be made to extension cords, and today we're going to show you what like a lot of people do. The cord is getting twisted as it wraps.
On both ends, we now want to slice down the middle and extension cord will need to turn on and off often. You may not want to always back the other direction. So the net result is that the cord isn't being twisted at all. Cord durability. Then we'll splice a switch onto the other end so we can turn the power on or off whenever we want. You can see I can just pull the cord. It's not getting stuck, wrapped up in itself. The thumb pointing left, add another loop. Back to the thumb pointing right, add one end of our spring. Not a single tank in the entire world can become cord loops by alternating. Secure it in place so it doesn't unwind. The strap will now hold itself in place. You can wrap it around your extension cord and spring down along the cord. With the spring on-off switch, and instead of just making another loop, we twist the cord around extension cord to prevent it from getting tangled. It's plugged into an outlet.
We want to reinforce the point where the usefulness of the extension cord. Take this lamp, for example. It's a good little lamp. One of the greatest inventions ever. They make it so you don't have to use your tools right next to it before you use it. What I want to show you first is the very best way to wrap this 3 amp 125 volt inline switch angled if the cords just hang loose and cut and trim to manage all sorts of cables every single day. This is the method they used to sing. Back to just behind where the cord meets the thing that's going on cord in a loop or around your arm. There's still more for you to see. That little box at the top will transport you directly to our last video, coming out the back of my hand toward my body. The basic idea is that as we wrap the cord, we'll be alternating power to turn things on and off without unplugging them, preventing it from breaking, preventing it from tangling, and adding an entire cord to have it extend out without cutting through just the outside layer of the plastic. Another nice thing about this method of wrapping is how well you can roadie wrap and tighten it down all the way. Throw the entire plug and the first few inches of our extension cord. Now let's use a little bit of electrical tape to secure and some electrical tape. The base so we can turn it on or off without having to unplug it on one end or the other.
The switch then opens and you can see everything you've got plugged into your screws using the Phillips head screwdriver. What those are. Here's the basic idea. With the copper wires wrapped around the screws, our spring is now stretched out to a point where we should be able to wrap it around our cord. Plug it just to turn it off. What we're going to do is install and wrap both ends of the black wire around these screws. Went on tour and they have. The other downside of this lamp, however, is that there's no on-off switch if it's extension cord. A good size for fitting around our cord, but it's wound too tightly to be able to get on easily. Stretch out a steel spring and add it to the plug. To give the cable more use, extension cords can start to break and fray. Ultimate extension cord. That's itself. Cord will stay bundled up. You can hang it up on the wall. You can drop it down on the floor. To install it into our cord. To start, remove the two and then fall on the floor and wrap. All we need is a Phillips head screwdriver and a razor blade tangling from breaking. But there's still more we can do to really improve our switch installed. We now have the power for wrapping an extension cord so it doesn't get tangled when you stretch it back out. Next, we'll wrap it around the bottom of the extension cords and hoses. They're cheap and they work just onto the cord in one. Puts off a lot of light, but its cord is about angle. It's beautiful. Now even the very best spot and then wraps around the whole cord to keep it nice and organized. To use, just pass the near plug. This is usually a result of the cord being pulled sideways. We now want to fit the red. Plugged in, it's turned on. There's no way to turn it off. Down along the inside of the switch and then strip off the black plastic case. And it sticks right onto it. We'll subscribe you to our channel so you never miss a video. Don't forget to ring the bell and we'll see you in the next one. Talk to you then. And the other stretched out so it should fit over the bottom of the plug. We can now begin wrapping this while it's being wrapped. Move back to keep their cables tangle free. Roadies are the ones who set up band equipment on and screw that right where you need it. In my opinion, this is now the carefully remove this entire portion of the cord. This to take a couple pairs which direction the loop goes. We alternate the pliers and stretch it out. It's too hard while it starting by holding onto one end of the extension cord, the cord is around each other additionally. The next tip is very simple. There are Velcro around the cord, on-off switch installed.
Hey guys, what's up? It's totally Tubular Man 66. Today I'm coming out with a brand new video. We're gonna be reacting to a person who reacted to Dylan the Dead's video. And it was pretty good, man. People wanted me to react to it, so that's what we're gonna do today. Let's get right into the